Hi, my name is Kate and I'm a textile artist with a love of travelling and the esoteric. I am passionate about the environment, creativity, health and well-being. All of these come together in my Zen stitching programs. As you probably know, today is Earth Day and I wanted to share with you one of my techniques on how I mend my jeans. I have them here and these are in their finished state. I will be showing you how I created this particular design here. If you enjoy the process that I'm sharing with you today, I'm also putting together a little bit of fun. Because of COVID-19 and our current self-isolation and quarantine measures that are currently in place, I would like to put together an online community where like-minded people get together and share their stitching ideas and inspiration. I'm putting together what's called the Zen Stitches Tea Party, where each week I will be sending you prompts directly to your email to inspire your creativity. If you're interested to find out more, click the link in my bio. Happy stitching! So here we have some jeans that need to be repaired, and what's happened is this was the patch that was sitting on this spot just here, but I found it was starting to become unraveled around the edge just a little bit too much, and I started to feel that it was looking a little bit messy. So I thought, I'm going to take this off and I'm going to do a patch with the fabric on the reverse side of the jeans. So you can see here I've already gone ahead and pinned the patch in place. It's about this big here, so again it's probably about 5 inches, and these pins here are safety pins. Now the reason why I'm using safety pins is because they keep the fabric in place, and they also mean that I'm not actually accidentally going to prick myself with a pin, or they're not going to fall out with the stitching process. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a feature out of this hole here. So to do that, I'm going to get my scissors and very carefully cut that fabric away there. So you can see when I do that already the fabric underneath is starting to show through. So what I'm going to do is just playing, actually I'm having a look to see how it looks. And I quite like how that dark bit of denim is peeking out from underneath. Now what you could do if you wanted to make it a little bit bigger, which I think I will, and it's also going to make it a little bit easier to fold it under, is to go around and clip these side bits here. Which means that each bit is going to fold under just that little bit better. In theory, anyway. There we go. We can see that it's starting to give the illusion of that whole or negative space. My next step is to using a whip stitch, which is where we just wrap that stitch around. I'm going to sew this little bit in place just like this. So grabbing my needle and some thread, so again it's the sashiko style needle and some sashiko style thread. I'm going to thread my needle, put a knot out at the end, and then I'm going to set this up so that it's easy to stitch. So it's held in place, and as I'm stitching, I'm going to fold this under and do some stitching. This is going to give me a nice clean edge. And this whip stitch goes in and around, so it's like if a circular motion. And I'm going to keep these stitches close together. And keep the spacing a similar distance. So you can see that as I'm working my way around the circle, I'm folding it down, placing those frayed edges under, and then coming back in. With the whip stitch, and that is going to hold So there we have our hole that has been repaired with the whip stitch. Now, as you can see, all in around here, the fabric is very, very worn, and it's likely to start to wear even more and get holey in the very near future. So I'm going to continue to reinforce this whole area here, which is where I have the patch on the inside of my jeans. What I'm going to do is do a circular, just running stitch all the way around here in a circular motion. Now, you could do this freehand if you wanted to, or you could draw in place what you would like to stitch. So using something like a friction pen or some dressmaker's chalk, whatever you have at hand. Sometimes I'll even just use a very light lead pencil just to mark out how I'd like my design. Now, of course, if you wanted to, you could do this all by eye, and sometimes I will just go ahead and take my needle for a walk, see what happens. But this time round, I'm going to sketch it out to see what happens, see if I'm happy with how it looks, before committing to sewing it with the needle and thread. Now, I like the idea of this hole being reminiscent of a raindrop, or the circular motifs that are seen in Australian Indigenous art. A bit like a bullseye, this is. And I think that's how I'm going to start my stitching. Now I've got the needle and thread still attached at the back of the patch, so you can see there that's what it looks like on the inside. And I'm going to pull the needle through on this first inner ring that I've marked up, and I'm going to do some running stitches. I like to, in keeping with the sashiko style, have a longer stitch on the top and a smaller stitch on the reverse side of the fabric. So that means that this space in here is smaller than the space here. You can do it stitch by stitch, which is how I like to just get started, and then when I'm in the swing of things, then you can do a few more. Quite often too, when you're doing a circular motif, you want to take your time. And you can see there, that's the start of our pattern.